Yeah, so my name is Richard Yinkah, and I'm from Ghana, and I work with ADANU, which is a local NGO, which we started over 20 years ago. So we've been working with the rural communities in the region, in the Volta region of Ghana mainly, and extensively did some work around the region, and then some part of Liberia and Sierra Leone. But 99% of our work is all based in Ghana. So it's a Ghanaian-led organization, Ghanaian thoughts, and we work with global partners, university partners, community partners here and there. So it's a great honor to be part of this conversation today and also talk to like-minded people who work with communities. Because over the years, as community partners, we tend to go into communities with our own expectations and visions and ideas. Because if we set our organization, we set up based on our own understanding and vision and mission and what we want to execute. So over the years, the missing link is where we are forming organizations without paying the critical attention to the communities in question or the communities that we want to serve or the communities of interest. So you go to a community to execute a project where the question is, how well is the community informed or even involved? Because we are working with timelines, we are working with deadlines, but the community don't have that. So we are going to communities where we're saying, we want to build a school for you, and we have to do this in 6 months. The question is, does the community have the capacity to absorb that for 6 months? We should be mindful that these communities have lived all their life for 100 years or 20 years without a school. And so going to this community to say, I want to build a school, I want to build a library, I have this service project I want to give you, and I need your participation in 6 months or a year, it's unfair to those communities. And unfortunately, because also we are limited based on the funding that we have, because in our funding proposals, we already stated clearly that we want to do this in 3 months, we want to do this 6 months. So we are already having a prejudiced mind that we want to satisfy the source of funding, but not the beneficiary. So over the years at ADANU, we have observed one of the things that inspired me to set up ADANU was the fact that the missing link from the community involvement in project decision making and even project that benefits the communities. Because the question is, which approach are we using to engage the communities? How do we want the communities to fully participate? Do we just need them to participate partially or be involved actively, or we want them to be involved transformatively? Because at the end of the day, it looks like we are already having a checklist of how we want the communities to be partners. But I think that this has been one of the major links problems that is becoming difficult for nonprofits working in rural communities in terms of infrastructure support or development to even have a succession plan, because our plan has always been that we go into the communities, work. The question is, are we working for them or with them? Are we working alongside them or are we working for them? And those are very tribal questions that I keep asking, that when we go to communities, it's our collective goal is to see the community thrive. If it's our collective goal is to see the community thrive, are we working for them or with them? Are we working alongside, or what are we truly engaging the community with? Because in as much as they need a school, they need a classroom, they need a hospital, they need water here and there, the question still has to remain that what is it that we want from the community for the purpose of working with them or alongside them? And I think over the years, majority of us have this checklist that we want to check. So we kind of deprive the community of their full involvement in those decisions because we have already decided for them. And at Adan, one of the key things that we do is even before we undertake a project, we go to the communities first because we hear of the community and we know that every community here and there will definitely have a problem of water, have a problem of school infrastructure, have a problem of livelihood supporting here and there. However, the question is, are we ready to go down to the bottom work with the community elders, work with the community's stakeholdership, the community membership, not necessarily the majority of the community, but the opinion leaders of the community that matters. Because without involving the community effectively and efficiently in every programs that we bring to them, you will go back 10 years, 5 years, you see that the pipe bomb, the borehole that was drilled is not working. And when you ask them, why is the borehole not working? They tell you that, oh, it was an NGO that came from US. It was an NGO that came from UK that built it for us. So do you know them? No. Do you have the address? No. Is there any way we can even follow up? They said no. So it tells you clearly that we are going to these communities that we are putting a lot of capital investments there, building the schools, setting up the boreholes, doing capital extensive infrastructure, but we go out there, there is no community full participation and engagement because of the approach that we are using based on the fact that there's a timeline, we want to satisfy the donors. And I think we have to, moving forward, we have to get away from that, making clear to the donors that it's good to support our cause, but it's going to be on our timeline. It's going to be on our time frame. It's going to be on how we work with the communities, but we're not working for the community because it's high time we amplify the voice of the community through the community. It's like we are becoming the mouthpiece of the community, but without even listening to them enough. The question is, did we even listen to the community enough to decide a program from them? Or because we saw there's a need for a school, a library, a computer lab, a livelihood support program? If we have listened to the community enough, even in designing the program, would have taken a cue from what we have learned from the community, because there are so many cultural diversity, cultural orientations in the community. There are so many things that might not work the way it has to go or the way we presume that it should be. But sometimes, because of lack of time, because of lack of understanding and cohesion, and because of our own interest of trying to look good, because at the end of the day, I want to go to a donor that I just built the first school, I need money for the next school, for another community. But again, there's no long-term collaboration and partnership with those communities. And I think for this conversation this afternoon, it's very good that we look at it more as to what is it that we can do differently, that we are not just looking at the numbers, that I've built 10 schools, I've built 100 schools, and then when I go back to all those schools after 10 years, they're starting to show off for it. The roof is off, the windows are off, the computers are all off, not working. There's not even hard drive in any of them. And they ask them, do you know how to fix the computers? They said, no. Do you have a system that the community can get involved to fix those things? No. Is there a system that even of ownership? They said no. But you see that we are just more interested in the numbers and the fanfare of the fact that we built 3 schools to benefit 300 students, and that is the data we want to carry along. But the long-term goal will be, where is the community in question? What are we leaving behind for them? How long can we continue to do things for them? And I think that is why it's very important that the community should not be left out holistically. The community should not be, no matter the time and the pace, we should go according to their time and pace. We have to explain to donors, founders, that these communities have been without resources for 1,000 years, 100 years, 20 years. There is no way we are going to come there for the next 6 months on 1 year and change everything at a go. So we need to build that confidence in the community. We need to build that relationship and trust with the community so that together we can work with one another, because we need them from the planning stage, we need them from the decision-making stage, we need them in the implementation. So the planning, the decision-making, the implementation, at every stage of every project, be it a service project or infrastructure project, the communities have to be fully involved. That is the only way we can see the progress we want to see. That's the only way we can actualize the importance of whatever we are bringing into the communities to work alongside or with them. Because there are communities, a typical example, I spoke with Niall, if you know Niall Fokker. He's also a member of this group, and he's been working in Ghana for so long. And then recently, as I got introduced to him, One of the things that he said to me is, Richard, I don't think the people needs me in the community because I've worked with them for so many years, and I think my presence in the community is not making any impact. But rather, I need to hand over the baton to they themselves, because what they need from me is the resources which I have access to. They don't need me to decide when to start work, when to finish work. They don't need me to monitor the project. They need, the only thing they need from me is my external resources that they don't have, because locally they have the human resources there. They just need to be enlightened. They just need to be given opportunity. They just need to be opened up to giving the room and the resources that they need to be able to hold their own leaders accountable. And now, recently now, it's working in Ghana, but not currently in Ghana anymore, but rather has transferred all the resources, the logistics and everything to the locals themselves to continue to lead their own effort. And wherever he'll be needed, he will come in to support. And what it does is it creates a transfer of ownership to the community folks. The question is, if you don't have the right engagement from the onset, how and when will you transfer ownership to the community? When do you know that my time is up in this community? When will you become satisfied that I have done enough for this community? You will not, because there's not been any transition. There's not been any process of even a succession plan of we working in the community, because we go out there and we feel we can be there for 50 years, not thinking that we can actually be there for 10 years or even 5 years, or even, do they even need our physical presence? Or we need to invest into the local resources, the local human resources there, and be able to see what is the missing link here, what can I bring to complement the local effort, so that together we can achieve a common goal with the community, by the community. Not we going consistently for 20 years, or I've been working in Namibia for 50 years, I've been working in Telarion for 20 years. No, because you have never thought of the fact that there has to be a time where resource transfer have to go to the locals to lead their own effort and see what is there that you can bring from external support and then the internal support, so that collaboratively we can be able to achieve a common goal. And that is the only way we can create a strong partnerships in our various communities that we work. One thing we do in our communities, every community we go out there, we start from day one engaging the local people. We tell them, okay, this is ADANU, this is how we do. What do you think we can do differently for your community and with your people? And they'll give us a list of things that they thought is better for them. Sometimes you want to go and build a school and they tell you, our forefathers have been under the tree for 20 years. Some of them are still doctors and also. So we still believe that people can go to school under trees and still be doctors. So how do we change that narrative? How do we contribute to that effort of thinking mentality that, yes, some people went to school under chicken coops, they went to school under mango trees, but they've been doctors and lawyers. What is the guarantee that in the 21st century that is possible? And then we have to engage them. We have to enlighten them. We have to open the Pandora box that if it takes them 100 years now, it doesn't have to take us 20 years because of technology, because of the human resources, because of the potentials they have as a community to see. You go to every single community, they have access to technology, phone. You go to every house, they might not have breakfast, but they have credit on their phones. So it means they are ready to embrace what is happening in the 21st century. The question will be, how are we as nonprofits and charities ready to be able to work alongside the community folks, so that in determining what is good for them or not, it has to be locally generated, locally led, and we collaboratively supporting those efforts. And then so that you don't have to be in a community for 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, or 10 years. You might be there, but also your role might now change from being the head of programs to just being a partner, and having a local person be the head of programs, having a local person be in charge of marketing, being a local person in charge of the social media and broadcasting of what is happening. They have to begin to generate local content that will sell out their stories. Not necessarily me coming with a camera to be like the nice person to take good pictures of good shot. Let them generate those local solutions. And that is the only way we see that these communities can be able to to lead their own development effort. And I think the conversation continues as, again, how do we want the community to participate? Do you want them to just be observers? Do we want them to contribute, or want to empower them so that they can be their own leaders in their own communities, so that they can be able to transfer whatever skills and knowledge they acquire from us to their next generations, so that the community will be able to hold their own leaders accountable. Because when we give opportunity to the leadership of the community to participate and get involved in program decision making and all that, what it does is it opens them up for the membership of the community to see, oh, there are potentials in our leaders, but just that they've never been given the platform, they've never been given the opportunity to speak up, to even contribute, to even make mistakes, to even learn from their mistakes. Because we feel that we have all the answers, they are going to come in and make all that happen. And I think the conversation we're having this afternoon is an open one. We can all share our views around it. And I would just say that in conclusion to say, community participation in programs is very essential for creating programs that are contextually very relevant to the communities, sustainable and responsive to the uniqueness, need of the communities that we all aim to see them strive. And it fosters a good collaboration, it promotes shared responsibility, and then overall, it enhances the impact of the programs that we are bringing. So I thank you, Corey and Kate, and I think we can start to brainstorm and see where we're moving from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richard. That was really, really helpful.